There comes a time in life when you can no longer ignore the signals that the universe is sending you. Sometimes life whispers to you. Other times it speaks louder. But then there comes a moment when it shouts so loudly that you can no longer pretend you didn't hear it. And today this is that moment, because when God says, "This is my third warning to you," it means you have already missed 2 chances to change. Ask yourself, why did I ignore the first sign? Why did I pretend the second one wasn't for me? Because the third warning is not just a reminder. It's a final call before the door closes. When life gives you a sign, it is never random. It is a message, a whisper, a calling to shift something within yourself or around you. The first time that sign appears, it is subtle, almost like the breeze that touches your skin, so light, so soft, you could almost miss it. And most of us do, because we live in a world full of noise, distractions, and comfort. We ignore the small voice because it is not urgent, because it does not demand immediate action. We say to ourselves, "I'll deal with it later," or "This is not important right now." That is the first mistake. The universe, life, or God, whatever name you choose, does not speak for no reason. The whisper is an act of grace, a gentle reminder that something needs your attention. When you ignore that whisper, it does not disappear. It grows. It comes back, not to punish you, but to teach you. And when you still ignore it, the teaching becomes harder, louder, and heavier. You have to understand something fundamental about life. Every lesson you refuse to learn repeats itself in a stronger form. That is the law. There are no shortcuts. If you didn't listen when life spoke softly, life will come back with a louder voice. If you still ignore it, that voice becomes a shout, and then, if necessary, a storm. People often say, "Why is this happening to me?" They cry out in pain, in frustration, blaming others, blaming circumstances, sometimes even blaming God. But the truth is, this storm did not come out of nowhere. It was born the day you chose to close your eyes to the first sign. That sign was an opportunity to correct your course with ease, but you let it pass. And now, life had no choice but to shake you awake. Ignored signs are like seeds. The moment you ignore them, you water them with neglect. And over time, they grow into trees with roots so deep that you cannot simply walk away anymore. The discomfort you avoided yesterday becomes the chaos you cannot escape today. That is why I always tell people, pay attention to what feels small, because small things grow. A small crack in a wall becomes a collapse if left unattended. A small pain in the body becomes a disease if ignored. A small habit becomes a destiny if repeated. So when you sense something is wrong, don't dismiss it. Don't call it just a phase. That phase can become your prison if you let it stay. I want you to reflect on your own life right now. How many times have you felt something was off, but you ignored it? Maybe it was a relationship that didn't feel right, but you told yourself, "It's fine, it will get better." Maybe it was your health. You felt tired, exhausted, your body sending you signals, but you drowned them with caffeine, with excuses, with denial. Maybe it was your career. You knew you were unhappy, unfulfilled, but you said, "This is just how life is." And then, years later, you face heartbreak, illness, burnout, and you wonder, why did this happen to me? It didn't just happen. It was coming for a long time. You just refused to see it. And now, the sign has come back stronger. That is not cruelty, that is law. People think that ignoring a problem makes it go away. But what actually happens when you ignore a problem? It doesn't disappear, it waits. And while it waits, it grows. It collects interest, like a debt you refuse to pay. One day, the bill comes due, and now it's 10 times higher than before. That is the nature of ignored signs. The first warning is free. The second one costs you something small, maybe time, maybe effort. But the third one will demand everything you have. Because by then, the situation is not small anymore. It has grown into something that requires radical change. And this is why God says, "This is my third warning to you." That is not a casual statement. That is serious. It means He gave you grace twice before. He whispered, He spoke. And now He is shouting because He does not want to lose you. He knows where your current path is leading. And He knows that if you do not change now, the price you will pay later will be unbearable. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Awareness that life is not playing with you. Awareness that the universe operates on principles, and one of those principles is this: what you ignore becomes your master. Every ignored truth takes control of your life. You think you are free because you look away, but in reality, you are a prisoner of what you refuse to face. And the longer you avoid it, the stronger it becomes. That is why I want you to pause right now and think, what have you been ignoring? Be honest. Is it your health, your habits, your purpose, your relationships, your spiritual life? Because if this is your third warning, it means you have already lost the luxury of time. This is not a whisper anymore. This is a wake-up call. And wake-up calls are never comfortable. They are loud, they are shocking, and they demand immediate action. You have two choices when you face a sign D. You either listen and adjust, or you ignore and suffer. There is no third option. Adjustment is uncomfortable, yes. Change is uncomfortable, yes. But suffering is far worse. People often fear change because it feels painful, but the pain of change is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Regret is a wound that never heals because it is rooted in the realization that you had the chance and you let it slip away. And that is what ignored warnings lead to: regret. Regret for not starting earlier, for not listening, for not trusting the signs that were there all along. So when I say ignored signs come back stronger, I don't mean that to scare you. I mean that to empower you. Because if you understand this truth, you will stop waiting for life to hit you harder. You will stop waiting for the storm. You will stop saying, "I'll change when I have no choice." You will change now because you know the storm is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, unless you act today. And that action starts with awareness. Awareness that the sign you feel now, the discomfort you feel now, the voice inside that keeps repeating the same message, it is not an accident. It is a gift that says, here is your chance to avoid the storm. Take it. I have seen people lose everything because they ignored the signs. I have seen people stay in toxic relationships because they feared being alone, only to end up broken, empty, and full of bitterness. I have seen people ignore their health until their bodies forced them to stop. I have seen people chase money while ignoring meaning, only to wake up decades later with wealth but no soul. And in every story, there was always a moment, sometimes many moments, when life tried to intervene, when God tried to whisper, turn back, change course. But they didn't listen. And then they cried out, why me? But the truth was, life had been saying, why not change? Long before. You are hearing this because it is not too late. You still have the power to prevent the storm from destroying everything you care about. But you cannot wait any longer. This is not about tomorrow. This is about now. If this is your third warning, then this is your last chance before the consequences become irreversible. And let me tell you something. Every sign ignored in the past does not define you. What defines you is what you do now, right now. Because the moment you listen, the moment you act, the cycle of louder and louder warnings stops. And in that moment, you shift from being a victim of life to being the master of your choices. So take this seriously. Do not treat this as another motivational speech. Do not say, that was powerful, and then go back to your old ways. This is not about feeling inspired for a moment. This is about deciding that you will never again ignore what matters. That you will never again let fear, comfort, or laziness blind you to the signs that are guiding you to your destiny. Because if you ignore this one, the next time may not come with a chance to recover. The storm does not negotiate. It only destroys. But you can stop it now. You can turn the storm into a sunrise. All you have to do is listen. Listen deeply and act. Because this is your third warning and your last opportunity to create the life you were meant to live. There is one truth that many people refuse to accept: change is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, whether you prepare for it or not, change will come. The question is not whether you will change, the question is how. Will you change by choice, or will you change by force? And the difference between those two paths is the difference between growth and suffering, between evolution and destruction. The wise understand this, and that is why they move before they are pushed. They adjust their sails before the storm hits. They act while there is still time. But most people, they wait. They wait because they fear discomfort. They wait because they love the illusion of control. They wait because they think tomorrow will look like today. And then one day, reality knocks on their door, and it does not knock gently. It kicks the door open and says, "You ignored the whispers. You ignored the warnings. Now you have no choice." And when you have no choice, the process of change is no longer graceful. It becomes brutal. There is a simple rule about life. If you don't move forward willingly, life will move you forward painfully. That is not punishment, that is mercy disguised as pain. Because life cannot allow you to stay small forever. Life cannot let you rot in your comfort zone. Life was designed for growth, and growth demands movement. So if you will not move, life will move you. If you will not let go of what is killing you, life will rip it out of your hands. If you will not close the door that leads to your destruction, life will slam it shut. Sometimes with your fingers still inside. And that is why forced change hurts so much. Because it comes after resistance. Resistance to the truth, resistance to reality, resistance to what you already knew deep down but refused to accept. Think about this. How many times have you known that something in your life needed to change, but you delayed? You said, "Not now. I'm not ready. I'll do it later." And then later came, and the choice was no longer yours. Maybe you stayed in a job you hated because it was secure, and then one day they fired you. Maybe you stayed in a relationship that drained you because you feared being alone, and then one day they left you broken. Maybe you ignored your health because you thought you were strong, and then one day the doctor said, "It's too late." These moments do not come out of nowhere. They are the natural consequence of ignored change. You knew the truth, but you pretended not to. And life said, "If you will not act for yourself, I will act for you." And when life acts for you, it is never soft. It shakes you. It breaks the illusion. It strips away everything you used as an excuse. Because forced change is designed to wake you up. I want you to understand something very clearly. The pain of forced change is 100 times greater than the pain of chosen change. When you choose to change, you still experience discomfort, yes. You still experience fear, yes. But that discomfort is within your control. You decide the pace, the direction, the timing. You prepare. You build resilience. You grow gradually. But when you resist and life forces you to change, you lose all of that. You don't get to choose the pace. It happens overnight. You don't get to choose the timing. It happens when you least expect it. You don't get to prepare. It hits you unarmed. That is why so many people break when forced change comes. They were never ready because they chose to sleep through the signs. Now listen to this: discomfort is the price of growth, but suffering is the price of resistance. Most people live in avoidance because they confuse the two. They think that avoiding discomfort will keep them safe, but all it does is delay the inevitable and multiply the pain. The wise embrace discomfort because they know it is temporary and necessary. The foolish run from discomfort and then cry when suffering knocks on their door. But suffering is never an accident. It is the compounded interest of avoided growth. Every time you said, "Not now," every time you said, I'm not ready. Every time you said, maybe later, you were adding interest to a debt that one day you would have to pay. And when that day comes, the payment is no longer optional. It is demanded, and it takes everything. So here is the truth you must accept today. Change is coming, whether you like it or not. You can choose to be the sculptor of your life or the victim of the storm. You can choose to walk willingly into transformation or be dragged there bleeding. But make no mistake, you will not stay the same. The illusion of permanence is the greatest lie we tell ourselves. Nothing stays the same. Your body is changing. The world is changing. Time is moving forward whether you act or not. And every moment you delay, every decision you avoid, every change you resist is simply borrowing pain from your future. And one day, that future will arrive, and it will demand payment. This is why the message is urgent. This is why God says, "This is my third warning to you," because you are running out of gentle options. The first warning was an invitation. The second was a reminder. But the third is an alarm bell. It means the time of choice is ending, and the time of force is approaching. It means you can still act now, but if you don't, life will act for you, and you will not like how it feels. Forced change does not ask for permission. It does not wait for your schedule. It does not care about your excuses. It tears through your life like a storm, taking everything that was never meant for you, but that you refuse to release. And when the dust settles, you stand there with nothing but the pieces of what you clung to so tightly. And then, only then, do you realize you could have done it differently. You could have let go sooner. You could have moved sooner. You could have chosen change and avoided the destruction. But by then, it is too late to undo the storm. You see, the danger of waiting is not just the pain. It is the lost time. Time you cannot get back. Years spent in a life you didn't want. Years spent with habits that killed your potential. Years spent in a version of yourself that was never meant to be permanent. And for what? For comfort, for fear, for what other people would think. Tell me, is that worth your destiny? Is that worth your purpose? Is that worth your soul? The answer is always no. And yet, millions of people make that trade every single day. They trade their future for their comfort. They trade their greatness for their fear. They trade the life they were meant to live for the life they are used to. And then they wonder why they are miserable. But misery is simply the gap between who you are and who you were meant to be. And that gap only grows wider the longer you resist change. I want you to take this message seriously, because this might be your last chance to change by choice. If this is your third warning, it means the grace period is almost over. It means life has already tried to speak to you gently. It means you already felt the signs. It means you already knew something had to change, but you didn't move. And now the choice is slipping away. This is not about scaring you. This is about waking you up. Because if you wait for life to force you, it will break things you love to make you see the truth. It will break your illusions, your attachments, sometimes even your relationships, your finances, your health. And it will hurt. But not because life is cruel. Because life is committed to your growth, whether you like it or not. And if you won't grow willingly, you will grow painfully. So ask yourself, what is the change you have been avoiding? What is the decision you keep postponing? What is the truth you keep pretending not to know? Face it now. Move now. Do it while it is still your choice. Because the moment it stops being your choice, it becomes your crisis. And crisis is a brutal teacher. But if you choose change today, you can write the next chapter of your life with intention. You can build, not rebuild. You can rise, not recover. You can transform without being torn apart. That is the gift of chosen change. That is the power of acting before you are forced to act. This is your moment. Don't wait for the storm. Don't wait for the pain. Don't wait for the day when you have no choice left. Change now, because the longer you wait, the louder life will get. And when life gets loud, it is no longer a conversation. It is a command. So take the whisper while you still can. Take this warning as